Well, the global market for mobile phones is set for a big shake-up with the news that Google has bid more than $12 billion for Motorola. If the deal is approved, it will turn Google from the biggest maker of software for mobile phones into a major manufacturer of handsets. For other handset makers who use Google's Android technology, it's an anxious time as a major supplier looks set to become a major competitor. Simon Palin has more.
It's being touted as Google's boldest move in its 13-year history.
Google clearly is very interested in making sure that they are there when people are trying to get to the internet through a mobile device.
Like several other phone companies, Motorola already runs Google's Android operating system. Analysts say the deal to buy Motorola, which is pending regulatory approval, could help Google to take on Apple's iPhone.
One view is that Apple has done a fantastic job of providing one package of the hardware and the software. And so Google is trying to replicate that.
But perhaps more importantly, the deal will give Google ownership of the thousands of patents Motorola has over its intellectual property and technology. This will allow Google to more freely explore new technologies while resisting patent lawsuits from competitors.
With Motorola, Google is buying 17,000 patents and 7,500 patents under application, which enables them to combat and to position themselves in terms of their patents to be able to defend Android operating system, and again, more broadly, use patents to be able to position themselves effectively.
So they're basically buying the right to protect themselves legally.
That's right. These whole patent battles, each of these large technology companies have thousands of patents, and they use them to play games against each other, essentially.
The reality of the situation across the technology landscape today is pretty simple. Patents are power.
In a statement, Google's co-founder Larry Page said together Google and Motorola would create amazing user experiences that supercharge the entire Android ecosystem. But some believe other phone manufacturers like Samsung, HTC and Sony Ericsson, which also use Google's Android system, may now look at other operating platforms.
All of the many Android smartphone manufacturers will now question. We are now in direct competition with Google. Google is both creating the operating system which we're using, and they're competing with us in terms of the handsets. So that may put into question whether they really want to be associated with Android.
There's also speculation the Google-Motorola deal could prompt Google's bitter rival Microsoft to complete a long-rumoured takeover of Nokia.